Price Red is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce. And an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Right at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warwick. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, November 29th, 2017. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. Sad news tonight as police confirmed the death of 52-year-old Roel Flores. Mr. Flores, a Filipino guest worker, was involved in a single-vehicle motorcycle crash at the junction of South Road and Warwick Lane in Warwick around 6 last night. He was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, but sadly, he was later pronounced dead. A family liaison officer has been assigned to assist the deceased family at this difficult time. His death marks the 15th fatal collision in Bermuda for 2017. Any witnesses or anyone with relevant information are encouraged to contact the Roads Policing Unit on 247-1788. Our sympathies go out to Mr. Flores' friends and family. There could well be opportunity for Bermuda to profit from the fallout of the so-called Paradise Papers by becoming more attractive to high net worth individuals. That's the view of one chief financial officer at a Bermuda-based capital management company, who also suggests Bermuda be cautious when it comes to cryptocurrency. Here's Gary Moreno with more.
The chief financial officer, who asked that we not identify them, suggests the Paradise Papers could prove a boon for the island. They add 13 million documents have been stolen and have been reviewed for more than a year by 190 news organizations, but as of yet, nothing illegal has been found. The suggestion being that because of issues such as the Panama Papers and now the Paradise Papers, the wealthy will be forced to move to jurisdictions where they have assets, with one of their main priorities being to avoid taxes on those assets. Moving to Bermuda as their full-time residents could allow them the tax benefits they desire. That, the CFO maintains, translates to more people being here, bringing personnel and jobs with them, and that in turn benefits the local economy. According to that individual, the stealing and exposing of those 13 million documents could actually backfire. However, Craig Simmons, lecturer in economics at Bermuda College, though, not totally convinced of this.
Well, it's certainly a possibility. Whether or not it is probable is an entirely different story. One would need to survey enough high net worth individuals to get a sense of how they view Bermuda in this post-Paradise Papers environment.
Elsewhere, the CFO we spoke with expressing concern about the island venturing into cryptocurrency, saying cryptocurrency could prove to be a bubble with nothing behind it. Government, they assert, needs to have a thorough understanding of what cryptocurrency is all about and what it truly involves. Mr. Simmons, while also having some misgivings about this technology, believes we should still seriously look at the options it presents.
You're not going to sort of jump into it, but it would make sense to explore the options. So I don't think we should go headlong into it, but we should certainly explore the possibilities of this new technology. I would give that same advice to someone considering investing part of their portfolio in bitcoins. You don't want to bet the house on bitcoins, but you may want to exercise what some call a barbell strategy.
And as to what that barbell approach is exactly,
you would take a small percentage, anything from 1 to 10% of your wealth, and put it on an asset like a cryptocurrency. The upside is significant, and given that we live in an uncertain world, those currencies, Bitcoin in particular, could benefit significantly from uncertainty, which is why I think folks should be exploring this kind of thing. In most instances, uncertainty brings with it a downside. It seems that in cryptocurrencies, the uncertainty does the other thing. It, in fact, makes it stronger.
Elsewhere, the CFO says they remain hopeful about Bermuda's economy and believe that the David Baird government does have the potential to take Bermuda forward. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Jean Atherton, the new opposition leader, tonight making her maiden broadcast interview. Speaking with Mike Sharp, she addresses a variety of topics such as her party's future, the government's perceived silence on the America's Cup, and the party's loss of voting power in the House of Assembly.
In part one, the OBA leader speaks on what it will take to steer her party to victory at the next general election.
First of all, I think that we have to rebuild our party and make ourselves into what I call a strong opposition. And in order to do that, we have to go out and reconnect with the general population. We have to go back and talk to them and make them believe by our actions that we're out there listening to their concerns, and that when we start to work on items, they work on the items that are going to improve their well-being and help them have a better Bermuda. Because I believe that until you get the population to say the government and the opposition are working for me, then you're not going to be able to make them think of yourselves as a viable choice at the time that an election comes.
The OBA won power in 2012 after a downturn in the economy, then lost power 4 years later after events such as pathways to status and others.
If you stop and think of what happened in terms of when we came in, we were a new party. We won the government very quickly. Sometimes that was a blessing, but it also was a curse, I believe, in the sense that we were busy trying to get Bermuda out of a dilemma, and we focused on righting the ship, if you will, building the economy. But it meant that perhaps we didn't focus as much on the jobs that were out there and some of the social issues. But that didn't mean that we were not aware or believe that these are very important. So it has meant that going forward now, we have to go back and rebuild the party so that issues that come up, we're able to focus on them. We have to make sure that from our communications point of view, that we make people see that what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, this is why we're doing it, this is how it will improve you, and try and make sure that the population believe that the One Bermuda Alliance is trying to work for them all the time.
Despite a report weeks ago claiming more than $300 million was pumped into the economy from the America's Cup, still silence from government. Well, Mrs. Atherton only saying that the issue will soon come front and center.
First of all, I'm going to say on Friday, the America's Cup motion will be debated, and there will be an opportunity for us to turn around and make sure that all of the information with respect to the America's Cup is out there so that the public can see all the benefits. The public can see how much was actually spent. The public can actually see what the surplus was. The public can deal, and all this misinformation that has been put out there will be laid to rest.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Stay with us. More news after the break.
You can count on us.
Fresh Purdue Value Pack chicken thighs with drumsticks only $1.99 per pound. All varieties of potatoes just $4.99 for a 5-pound bag. Dole pineapple slices for your Christmas ham only $1.89 for a 20-ounce tin. For your mac and cheese, Catelli macaroni just $1.89 for a 500-gram box. Tropicana premium orange juice only $5.49 for a 59-ounce bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
When you shop online, the cheapest, quickest, and easiest way to bring your packages into Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
They're always willing to help. They're willing to go above and beyond. They've helped me many times with packages, to help me with invoicing and all sorts. So I love mailboxes.
Easy, convenient, and fast. The people are fantastic.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
Find out how Bermuda Broadcasting brought you award-winning coverage of the America's Cup in our special feature on Monday, December 4th at 8 p.m. on ZBM. Few people know about the enormous technological and engineering challenges we had to navigate to provide free, high-definition coverage of Bermuda's biggest ever international event. Let us take you on a one-year journey from a crippling lightning strike to a dramatic broadcasting revolution that has garnered international praise. Watch at 8 p.m. on Monday, December 4th, rebroadcast on Thursday, December 7th on ZBM.
Government says it's aware of a series of fake social media accounts being created in the names of ministers of the Bermuda government. Today, government confirmed that Levita Fogo, the Minister for Government Reform, was a victim of one of these fake social media accounts. To ensure the authenticity of a social media account, the public is advised that they should be able to see a blue badge or blue check next to that person's name. Beware, do not comply if you are solicited for funds from these fake accounts. You are urged to contact the Bermuda Police Service to report any online fraudulent activity. Ralph Comisiong, chairman of the Parliamentary Joint Select Committee on a Living Wage, gearing up for debates on the subject in early 2018. Mr. Comisiong, who leads the political discourse on the topic, spoke about Premier David Bert's recent interaction with Bermudians in the UK. Mr. Comisiong says high levels of income inequality is leading to the erosion of the middle class, and it exacerbates poverty.
Not all of them are in that category who currently live in the UK, but significantly a number of them are. And we cannot lose sight of the fact that we need to create an environment that brings down the cost of living in Bermuda to such an extent that people like them, mostly younger Bermudians, can come back and take their place as productive persons in this community. After all, we're an aging population. But the reason why I think it's significant about the Premier's comments and what I heard yesterday, and we're talking about that panel discussion sponsored or held by Myra Virgil's philanthropic foundation, the one she heads, rather, I think in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce. We also had there Mr. Nathan Kowalski, Mr. Craig Simmons, of course, who's a lecturer at the Bermuda College. And, they really began to explore the issue of living wage and to even talk about the need for us to put in place policy prescriptions around addressing that issue.
He also argues why earning a reasonable wage should extend to low-skilled Bermudian workers.
The bottom line is that if Bermuda is not going to work for all Bermudians, including non-college educated Bermudians, then what's the point? Attendant with this, of course, has been the growing adoption of low-cost foreign labor. Mr. Kowalski, for example, noted that in our hotel industry there are over 1,124 foreign workers, many of whom, not all, but many of whom are working in a sort of low-pay category within the hotel industry, for example.
Now to the UK, where the Premier has been meeting with UK and EU officials. Premier David Burt today signed a new agreement with the British government that will see automatic sharing of corporate income related to transfer pricing. Transfer pricing involves the set price for goods and services between different departments of a larger company. The Premier says Bermuda has become the first overseas territory to sign such a deal. Now let's take a look at what's in store for us weather-wise over at the AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm your AccuWeather meteorologist, Daji Aswad. Let's get right to it, Bermuda. I hope everyone's having a great evening. And we've been seeing some clouds make its way into Bermuda here tonight. We'll see mostly cloudy conditions across portions of the island. To the south of us, that's where the moisture is. And then that's going to spin up into a low. And how that low will affect us is when our next frontal system comes from the States and links up and drags some moisture into our area. But that is for later this week, and we'll get to that in just a second. Here's a look at what's happening out there. Clouds to the south. Some of those will continue to try to stream their way into Bermuda tonight. So for our current conditions, temperatures are sitting right near normal as our daytime highs. As for our nighttime, we're a little bit above average, still warm at night. We're seeing our temperatures in the upper 60s, humidity 68%, winds out of the northeast 4 to 8 knots, and our water temperature at 73. Our waves are pretty calm out there. Waves in the reef up to 1 foot, and they may not even make it up to 1 foot. So that's, pretty calm. Waves out 3 to 4 feet. And as we take you to tonight, that's where we see some cloudy conditions out there. Low at 64 across the island. As for tomorrow, partial sunshine. High pressure is helping keep us dry here, but we can still see a few clouds out there. High of 71 with a low of 66 degrees. As for your marine conditions, we're looking at a high tide. Well, we saw high tide at 4:50 p.m. this evening. Our next high tide is expected at 5:27 a.m. for your Thursday. As for your getaway forecast, anyone traveling, here's a look at some other cities. Toronto, 45 with some showers expected. New York will be reaching a high of 50 with a low of 41, so be sure to bundle up. Tonight, they're having the tree lighting, so if you're out there or going to New York, be sure to stop by the Rockefeller Center. Atlanta seeing some showery conditions tonight, 68 for the high, 54 for the low. Miami, cloudy but warm at 83 degrees. As for the current conditions across the Caribbean, Jamaica, 88 degrees with a few clouds out there. Barbados and Trinidad giving way to some showers and some moisture out there. As we take you to your extended forecast, here is a look at what we can expect. So Friday, we're still going to be in our dry pattern, not too worried about any wet weather. As we head into Saturday, that's when that low and that front link up. And that's when we get a possibility for some showers across Bermuda. By Sunday, that moves out fairly quickly, keeping us in the lower 70s, rather. And then by Monday, we get another weak cold front coming through. It's going to bring some brief passing showers, but not going to keep us wet for too long. And if you are interested in some more weather news, related community events around our area, please stay tuned to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Island Soul, where fashion meets comfort. Island Soul provides fashionable footwear hand-selected by our podiatrist that offers premium comfort. Located at 60 Victoria Street, Hamilton, Island Soul contains a friendly trained staff prepared to assist you with our vast selection of footwear, both male and female, with all sizes and widths available. Compression and travel socks amongst other accessories are also available in addition to a shoe modification and repair service, making Island Soul a one-stop shop for all your footwear needs.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there is no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 29th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores and purchase extra tins and non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donations into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company and the Royal Gazette.
Let's join Earl Basin to see what's happening in the world of sports.
Day 2 of the Goslings Invitational got underway here at the Port Royal Golf Course, with overnight leader Daniel Gunt continuing his good play with a 2-under 69. We got a chance to ask him to compare his first round that saw him shoot a 5-under and today's round.
5 under yesterday was as solid as I've played for a long time. You know, putted really well, hold the par putts when I needed to. Today was just everything was just I was just steering it round. I don't know what was going on. So it was just lack of commitment on nearly every shot today. So I just had a good run of 3 good putts on the front 9, made some birdies, and just I don't know how I kept it out of trouble, but I did, and I bogeyed the last, which really annoyed me.
There is a 3-way tie for second with Americans Mike Donald, Jason Thrasher, and Matt Parzali, all shooting 1 under par 70s. Tied for 5th is Bermudian Nick Jones, along with Mike McLean and Henry Smart, both from England, and American David Wetlifer, who all shot 1 over par 72s. Dwayne Pearman is the next Bermuda golfer, and he's tied 9th at 2 over par, and a further stroke back is Bermuda pair Kamiko Smith and Daniel Augustus. The New York Red Bulls have announced roster decisions following the conclusion of the 2017 season. The club announced that it has exercised contract options on 8 players and declined options on 10. One of the 10 is Bermuda international Zico Lewis. The Bermuda Football Association held the 2017-18 Shield and Friendship draws on Sunday, December 3rd at the Police Field in the Shield. Hamilton Parish will take on the Paget Lions at 12 noon, and that match will be followed by Young Men's Social Club and the Dandytown Hornets. Also on Sunday, December 3rd, at Lord's in St. David's, the St. George's Colts will take on St. David's, which will be followed by the North Village Rams and the Boulevard Blazers. Meanwhile, Calandra Smith from Digicel and Mike McGrath, president of the Corona League, presented the draw for the Digicel Cup. Lock and Key, West End United, Flanagan's Onions, and North Village all pulled the short straws as they got the preliminary round. On Friday at the BAA Field, Flanagan's Onions and North Village Rams will kick off at 7, and that will be followed by Lock and Key versus West End United at 9. Nathan Trott and his West Ham United teammates tasted defeat in the Checkatrade Trophy for the first time this season when their host, League Two side Wycombe, were 2-0 winners at Adam Park. As the Winter Olympics approaches, the topic of Russian doping continues to be one subject that is being discussed across the board. Bermuda Olympian Patrick Singleton, who is a member of the International Olympic Committee's Athlete Commission, was at a meeting recently, so we asked him for an update on the doping situation.
The Water Foundation Board meeting in Seoul on Thursday, and there were a number of issues that came up. RUSADA, the Russian Anti-Doping Agency, has not received its designation again, and Russians are not happy about that. So they sent their deputy PM and their sports minister and some other officials, and they didn't like the result. But they've got to acknowledge the McLaren report, and they have to give us the files from the Moscow lab in order for us to look at certifying them.
Vanessa James and Morgan Cypress missed out on securing a spot in next month's ISU Grand Prix final of figure skating in Japan. This after the pair representing France finished 7th on the ISU Senior Grand Prix of Figure Skating's tour circuit. The ISU Senior Grand Prix had a series of 6 stops that included Russia, Canada, China, Japan, France, and the United States. Only the top 6 advanced to the finals, which will take place in Japan from December 6th through to the 10th. Ray Rollins was one of 3 Sussex men in back-to-back action in New South Wales Premier Cricket League in Australia. Rollins' week with the England Lions in Brisbane attending a spin camp had a positive effect on his performances for Sydney. In the first game of the weekend, Rollins bowled 16 tidy overs, taking 1 for 50 on day 1 against Sydney University. Rollins was next in a 2020 match in the Grey Shield New South Wales under-21 competition with figures of 3 for 21 from 4 overs and 37 off of 22 balls, was instrumental in Sydney's 2-wicket win over Mossman. Micah Franklin, who is Bermuda's 3-time national squash champion, is set to be the first Bermudian in over a decade to feature in a PSA World Championships as he heads over to Manchester, England this December. Meanwhile, the Axel Catlin Bermuda Squash Rackets Association Club Championship continued. On day 2, 2 matches went 5 games with Christian Muldoon defeating Devario Thompson 12-10, 9-11, 11-2, 5-11, 11-7 in their men's open division match. While for a second night in a row, Patrick O'Neill went 5 games, recording yet another victory, this time defeating Tom Gridley 11-7, 9-11, 11-6, 8-11, 11-6, playing in the men's B division. Mount St. Agnes #1 team finished with a perfect 6-0 record to win the Bermuda School Sports Federation's middle school volleyball tournament at the MSA Gymnasium yesterday. The closest anyone came to the champions was runners-up Salters Grammar School's #1 team, who fell 25-15. Bermuda High School's #2 team finished third with a record of 3 wins and 2 losses. In Commercial League building action at the Work Lanes, it saw the Spinners defeat BTC 4-0. Secret Weapons got by the Superstars 4-0, while Cool Runnings defeated the Pin Pushers 4-0. We Do It Big defeated Sweet Life 3-1, while the Sunset defeated 10 Pin Mafia 2.5 to 1.5. The game between the Blue Lanterns and the Braves ended 2-2. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us.
Mixed Pila Farine, just $3.99 per pound for your Christmas baking. Certified Angus beef, fresh top sirloin roast, only $8.99 per pound. Heinz Crunchy and Tangy Piccalilli, just $2.99 for a 310-gram jar. Select varieties of stovetop stuffing, only $2.89 for a 6-ounce box. Select varieties of Sargento shredded cheese, just $4.29 for a 7-ounce package. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Don't miss another exciting edition of Up Close with Colin Thompson, featuring Carlisle United and Bermuda international footballer Reggie Lamb, December 6th on ZFB-TV 7 at 8 p.m. Watch as Lamb reflects on his career.
So I went from hero to villain in the space of 5 minutes.
That's on the next edition of Up Close with Colin Thompson, brought to you by title sponsor Island Construction Services and additional sponsors, Lindo's Group of Companies.
Find out how Bermuda Broadcasting brought you award-winning coverage of the America's Cup in our special feature on Monday, December 4th at 8 p.m. on ZBM. Few people know about the enormous technological and engineering challenges we had to navigate to provide free, high-definition coverage of Bermuda's biggest ever international event. Let us take you on a one-year journey from a crippling lightning strike to a dramatic broadcasting revolution that has garnered international praise. Watch at 8 p.m. on Monday, December 4th, rebroadcast on Thursday, December 7th on ZBM.
More than 300 paintings were exhibited at City Hall recently, the result of the Plein Air Art Festival. It's the second time the week-long celebration of open-air painting has been held in Bermuda, with organizers calling this year's event a great success. Our reporter Hal Davis went along to see the exhibition.
A huge range of subjects, styles and techniques. The exhibition at the end of this month's Plein Air Festival showed Bermuda in all its variety. With more than 60 painters taking part, the walls of the Bermuda Society of Arts were awash with colour and light. But while it was an opportunity for all the artists to meet, chat and show their work, there was also a serious side, with a prize worth $5,000 going to the best painting. Vicky Norman's Afternoon Glow was judged the winner. What did she make of the festival?
A really nice mixture of people from different backgrounds in different media, some really surprising choices of subjects that really work in ways that I would never have even dreamed of painting. It's just fantastic to see how people have found so many different ways of capturing Bermuda in so many different lights. It's great.
Prizes worth $2,000 also went to the best paintings in the oil, watercolour, pastel and acrylic categories, with another going to the best quick painting done in 3 hours or less. So what did another winner make of the standard of the works at the exhibition?
They're fabulous. There's some absolutely gorgeous, well, there's a lot of absolutely gorgeous paintings here. And I've been around the show once, but I find it overwhelming to go around the first time because there's so much beautiful art to look at. I'm looking forward to going around again and looking at all the paintings again and spending a bit more time with them and enjoying them all because they're just beautiful.
The festival isn't, however, simply an exercise in painting. Sponsored by the Tourism Authority, it's also a way of bringing more people to the island in an off-peak season. And numbers this year are up compared to the last time the festival was held.
2015 was our kickoff year, so it was a brand new baby for everybody. And with Rona and our group that we put together to organize it, we put emails out. And we had about 50 people. We had 50 artists that year, so this year we have 67, 37 from overseas, and it's been a great turnout. The weather's always cooperated with us. I don't know who's looking down, but it's been fabulous. We have wonderful venues that we're able to go and paint on, some private homes, beaches, but everybody that comes down is just marveled at all the colors. So it's been a great year.
So a successful return for the Plein Air Festival, meaning it's almost certain to continue, bringing pleasure not just to tourism's number crunchers, but also to art lovers, and perhaps most importantly, to the artists themselves.
Meg Oliver has some of today's top CBS health stories.
New findings from Johns Hopkins University showed doctors who prescribed large volumes of opioids are not the only drivers of the nation's opioid epidemic. Researchers found a wide range of doctors from primary care to surgeons play a role. They also found opioid shoppers who obtain prescriptions from multiple doctors and pharmacies are not the most common users. A new report from the CDC finds doctors are now diagnosing HIV about 7 months sooner after infection. The report also finds the number of people who have the virus under control is up and annual infections are down. And people who are single for life are 42% more likely to develop dementia compared to people who are married, according to a new study in the British Medical Journal. People who are widowed are 20% more likely to develop the disease. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
That's our broadcast for this evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.